Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the FC Podcast. If you want to catch these episodes hours and hours and hours ahead of when they're uploaded on YouTube, then go check them out where they're originally recorded on Anchor. We post 4 episodes a week, and on YouTube we'll only upload 3 episodes. You can catch the 4th episode, the Friday episode, as a bonus on Anchor. Links will be in the channel below, and don't forget to subscribe to Millennial Me, who's the host of the podcast, and enjoy the show.
You are listening to the Fandom Collective, your source of information, pop culture, entertainment, and Hollywood, with your host, FALON, and of course, our awesome co-host, the Rookie Critic. This time we are talking about advertisement bait. Is this a good thing or not? Should we avoid it? All right, let's talk about this. Advertisement bait, everybody kind of practices, actually. Not just Hollywood. I mean, like, YouTubers do it. They put, like, weird titles that may not have anything to do with the topic.
Right, or maybe it's slightly based on, but then the content is extremely different from that.
Exactly. It's like they're just trying to get that view count. But here's the thing. Because there is one YouTuber, I refuse to follow him. He does Destiny 2 content. But he puts these topics in his thumbnail, and which are absolutely not what is in the content of the videos, so it makes me not trust him. And I think, depending on how you do it, it can make people trust you, or like, I am not going near you, and I'm going to make sure my friends don't go near you. It's like, it can be a bad idea sometimes. Sometimes good. My brother, who is actually an editor for multiple newspapers within the USA newspaper, and he says that he uses that. He will put in something that wouldn't necessarily be something he's talking about, but he does make a note of it in the articles. If he can get like 1 million views for the month, then he knows what he's doing. But as far as Hollywood goes, they do this a lot. They bait you, saying it's one thing, and it's like, what the hell did they just put? Prime example, Venom. And I'm sure this is something Rookie wants to talk about.
Well, so this kind of conversation came up a little earlier, and I kind of talked about this here and there with some other people, but like I've noticed a lot of times we'll hear, before something's out, we'll hear either through the trailer or through the people that worked on the film or through like critics that saw it and want you to think a certain thing going into it or something. And, you know, Venom 2 is kind of one of them as well, where they're like, oh, there's so much gayness in here. He comes out and it's all about his relationship with him and Brock. And from what I'm hearing, that's not really it. If anything, he's kind of making fun of them in it, and it's brief as well at most. It's just not quite the same. So I don't know. So that seems kind of like a misleading type of thing. And then you look at James Bond. The earlier marketing was like, you know, oh, move over, Bond. It's going to be a woman now who's going to take over. And then it's like totally not that at all, apparently. Mm-hmm. And you look at, you know, I remember when Rise of Skywalker came out, they're like, oh, there's going to be all this lesbian out stuff. And it's like, it literally barely a peck on the cheek or, you know, on the lips. It's like a quick, oh, two girls kiss and then cut away. And it's like, oh, that's what you're talking about? And that's kind of weird. So it seems to be like a marketing tactic or a, you know, just afterward trying to get people riled up type of a thing. Because it's not always the marketers. It's not always the marketers either. It's people that watched it or heard about it or something that try to say that that's what it is about, essentially, when it's not.
Yeah, it's true. And you kind of expect it with Hollywood. We kind of do want that kind of thing with our trailers. We don't want to know the content of the movie. Don't show us the whole movie in the trailer. Shock us. Make it more confusing than it actually is. It's one thing that I liked about Endgame's trailer. It didn't tell us the truth. It's like we were expecting to see the Hulk running in there. No, it was Banner in a suit. So it's like, I like when it shocks us.
Well, I think there's a degree to that, though.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with that. I was going to use Marvel as an example of them doing it pretty well, because it's not like it's super significant, but it does help you not like figure out what to expect, because you'll be thinking at some point the Hulk will be on over here with them, but he doesn't. It's something else that happens. That's interesting. Or like with Thor for Ragnarok, when it shows him with 2 eyes, it's not that significant that he loses an eye, but that is something surprising when you're watching the movie. It's like, oh snap, he loses an eye. That's a little shocking. So I was like, oh, that's kind of a nice little thing for what they chose to show. But like, I also don't like it when trailers necessarily like lie about what it's going to be about. Kind of like even the movie Pig, they kind of sell it or describe it as like a John Wick style thing, or that's how it comes off, and it's like totally not that at all. It's actually
okay. See that's like okay. That I would not like that then.
It's actually really somber, and it's like chill, and it's sad, but it's really good. It's a good film, but like if you're going in expecting an action-packed revenge roller coaster, that ain't happening.
Okay, yeah, and I think that's why I'm saying the whole advertisement bait or baiting people can be both a good and a bad thing. It can blow up in your face, because just by doing that, you can actually tick off people, and they're not going to want to watch any future movies you're putting out, which isn't necessarily the movie maker's fault. It's the editor.
The editor, or the trailer marketer, the advertiser. Sometimes it's the critic. It really depends. Sometimes it's different ones that cause that, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, and honestly, I have no problem with people baiting me on YouTube videos. I'm like, make it look interesting on that thumbnail, or nobody's going to watch it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is why a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, people that can afford it, pay other people to make them. Yeah. Really good ones, because they need those views. So,
exactly. Which, like I said, can be good or can be kind of bad. But I mean, it depends. Like, I've seen more examples of it being bad than good, I guess.
Yeah. It's just how you do it. And like, I will use my brother as an example many times. It's like, he knows what he's doing, but he's been in the sports writing industry for the last 10 plus years. So he knows what he's doing. He knows, if you're going to say this, then you better at some point in your article have that in there. Same thing for like saying you're baiting someone in the advertisement, whether it's a movie trailer or you're discussing the movie online on like one of these social media platforms.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like, if you're going to say crap, then you better be able to pay that check, dude.
Yeah, essentially, or at least in some way, shape, or form there. And I don't know, so like with Hollywood, that's the kind of question too. Like with trailers, it can give away stuff, and the way that people review things can give it away. But also the posters can give things away sometimes. And it's like, to what degree do you really want to know? Because you do want to know something about what you're going to watch, but how much is too much? When is tricking you good or bad? Like the Marvel is a good example of it being done well, and because it's not like about a significant plot piece either. It's just it's just there and it's a cool looking moment type of a thing. You're expecting to see that type of thing, and it just doesn't happen. So it's able to play out a little differently. And then like with Bond, I didn't see the new Bond or anything, but it sounds like all the stuff that they're saying is going to happen in that, not really, doesn't happen that way. So it's kind of
from what I'm hearing, it's a traditional Bond movie and a wonderful conclusion for this particular incarnation of Bond, which I have said before. I think the general belief is that each Bond is a different Bond, and this James Bond is retiring, so another one will come and take his place. Just as M changes ever so often. It's like these names that they've used in all the movies have been code names.
Yeah, I suppose I haven't seen them, so I have no idea what you're talking about when it comes.
We need to get you to watch some Bond movies.
Well, I posted it on Twitter recently to see what ones I should start with. And it sounds like either the first one or Casino Royale to start.
Personally, my favorite one was GoldenEye.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's I guess based on what could get me interested in like actually watching multiple versions of Bond, because there's 25 films. And God forbid, I don't think I'll watch all. I don't know if I'll watch all of them. That sounds like a challenging task there.
Yeah, considering you work full time.
Yeah.
And you have your own projects you're working on.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of people want me to see a lot of things, and I want to see a lot of stuff too. And it's like, I think I'd be okay watching maybe like 5 Bond films, maybe. And I don't know for now. Like, and if at some point I'll end up watching more, sure, but it's gonna be a while for that. But as far as going back to the advertising stuff, real quick, I think like even with thumbnails, we're talking about like content creation. In a way, that's kind of the point, though. You do want them to click on it, and at least with content, like on YouTube, it's free. It's like free to watch. You don't have to pay to see it, so it's a little different. If somebody is a little stretching the truth a bit on what their video is going to be about, compared to when a movie is different than what they sell, or like what they say it's going to be, because you're paying for that. That's a little different there. It's a different risk reward type of thing. With YouTube, it's free. You're just risking time. That's where with Hollywood, risking time and money.
It's true. It's like that's some time you're never going to get back out of your life.
So I'm curious what people will, when they watch this episode, what they'll think about it too. Let us know in the comments what you think about it, because I mean, we're not just talking about clickbait specifically, just bait in general, because it's sometimes conversation bait, or like when people are looking up things about films. That's the thing too. We're also part of a large community that looks into movie stuff, like behind the scenes, what's going on with it, when it's going to be released, and it just seems like there's going to be a lot of information discovered, even if we don't want to know it.
It's true. Sometimes we just don't want to know. It's like, stop spoiling us. Sometimes
it's not the movie people's fault either, though, because it's just
true.
Like the look at contracts information, that stuff can be, like just you look at, the studio is doing this at this location, and this actor is currently, like, you can just find out this stuff without them trying to tell you anything. It's like people can come to their own conclusions and everything. But that's why you remember when like the James Mangold stuff was going about with Indiana Jones a while back.
Oh yeah, I think we actually did talk about that.
Yeah, so like I see now with like all this different bait that we're talking about, I don't know if I believe it's going to be that bad, because hearing that it's going to be bad or these certain things are going to happen, I don't know if I believe it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like I think different companies, and we have said this before, that they say these things, they try to bait people because they're trying to find out if they're going to be any response to these premises, or if it's too early to bring these about. Because what's funny? It's like they've been trying to do all these women leading, and they're really weak films. Let's take Ghostbusters 2016 and compare it to the success of Venom and Bond, because apparently those two movies have been breaking records. But it's not hard considering how badly movies have done and movie theaters haven't been opened. But people want action flicks. People want the leading man. And I think it's showing that right now. That's what we want. We'll pay for that. 100%. We'll go to the movie theaters. But you put something out like Ghostbusters 2016, we're not going to watch it.
Yeah, the odds of that will decrease for the most part.
It's like, do you want to make money? Then give us the leading man. Give us the blockbuster. But we don't really have blockbusters anymore. Yeah, and I'm not talking about blockbuster video. I mean traditional blockbusters that you got so freaking exciting, you're vibrating kind of excitement.
Yeah, you line up outside of the theater for hours to save your spot to see it first.
Exactly. And I think this is probably the first time we've seen anything similar to that.
Yeah, well, with James Bond, or what are you referring to specifically?
With Venom and James Bond.
Yeah.
In comparison to the Ghostbusters 2016.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's like, if you can, I have no problem with leading women. It's like, if it's a good story, if it's well made, I'm okay with that. But you're not going to give me a true Alien 1 or 2 movie, I think, in comparison to what we got now. So
yeah, probably not. The odds have lessened
greatly. Yeah, it's like they just create these cardboard cutouts.
Yeah. But yes, I mean that's pretty much the majority of what I'd have to say on marketing baits. At this point, it'd be up for more discussion being brought into it.
Yeah,
Factors that we might not have considered
that's
during the
true.
stream.
So for those of y'all, whether you're listening on the podcast episode itself, or you're watching this video on YouTube, please leave a comment. Like I said, if you're listening to the podcast, please leave a voice message. There will be a poll, as always, on Spotify and Anchor that you can respond to, because we will ask questions and you can leave comments. And if you're listening watching on YouTube, you can leave a comment down below. Tell us, what do you think? Are advertisement bait good or bad? Do you participate in it? I don't know if I do. I kind of do, sort of. But my imagery and text always relates to the thing.
I'm not good at it. I'm not good at going, whoa, look at this thing. It's like, yeah. I'm just more direct at what it is.
Yeah, you're more blunt.
Yeah, I'm just like, this is what it is.
Yes, 100%. So it's like, this is us. I have no problem with it if done well and not full on lying on the topic and saying, oh, this video is about that they're basically merging 2 video games into one and it's going to be 1 terabyte. And then the topic is something completely different. But those kind of people piss me off.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the end of it. We will catch you tomorrow with an all-new episode. And don't forget, every Friday we will be talking Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the month of October. And we will catch y'all on the flip side.